Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Hawk Blogger Mornings. I am Brian Nemhauser. You can find me and all that we do on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, at Hawk Blogger, as well as on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And really appreciate all the reviews we've been getting there. It's been great to see. It is a Blue Friday, and not just any Blue Friday. It's a Blue Friday before the Seahawks' biggest home playoff game in a decade. And there's only two guys that I want to start that conversation with. They've been with us many times throughout the season. Mike, every week throughout the season. Mike Sando of The Athletic, Dave Boling, Spokesman Review, and many other places. Guys, great to have you. How you doing this morning, Dave?
Getting pumped up, you know.
Yeah,
you get pumped like up? That didn't sound that pumped up. Let's come out of the tunnel.
I still get pumped up on like Saturdays. I like when I'm watching a college game that I want to see, I'll put on the old fight song in the morning. My wife thinks I'm nuts, and I start getting pumped up. And when they make a turnover, I'll do my 15 push-ups. And it's Saturdays. See, for me, it's Saturdays, and then that I still actually have some biorhythms attached to the football season schedule.
Yeah. Hey, I'm fired up this week because I've got a seat in the press box next to me.
Yeah. Great.
That, huh?
We got to get there early. Traffic's going to be brutal.
Yeah, I'm there now. Don't you know? They used to make fun of me for getting to the stadium so early. I'd get there like the morning.
Well, I'm sad I will not be sitting next to you guys during the game. I will be in my seats as I always am. I will be there for the post-game press conference and in the locker room, so I will hopefully run into you there and probably ruffle a few feathers with having some team colors on because I can't truly change my entire outfit. But you know what? That's the balance we have to strike. We have tons to talk about, but I would love to hear your guys' perspective on that whole conversation about. I was talking with Mina Kimes yesterday about she's known as a Seahawks fan. Robert Mays is known as a Bears fan, and they give their analysis. And Mina talked about the difference between being an analyst and a reporter, and the notion of objectivity. With that whole thing that happened in Jacksonville, Mike, I'm curious, like your take on all that, and that I think it's a pretty sensitive topic for a lot of folks in the journalism community.
Yeah, I mean, teach their own. I think that that setting is not the time to be consoling a coach, just in my opinion. Now, look. She's not a beat reporter who's there every day. And, she may have a different relationship with the game and everything. Her reason for being there, I think we see a lot of times, a team captures a town. Okay. And so what happens sometimes, especially in playoffs or big moments, is you get people that are not around the team covering it every day who are fans of the team. They may be the news anchor at Channel 4 or whatever, and they've got a life and they watch the Seahawks game and they're not really covering the team. And so you see that sort of a thing. And it's unusual to do that at that setting, in that setting. I think that most people who aren't in this world just wouldn't understand why somebody in the world would take offense to it, And so that's a hard thing to explain. But your credibility as somebody who covers the team is affected. And it's affected by everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're willing to wear the Seahawk hat, and that's fine. They can say that. But it does affect how you're viewed.
Mm-hmm.
If I was wearing one every week, that would affect how I was viewed, right?
Yep.
Or if I went into the press conference after every game and said, Coach, man, great job. Just wanted to tell you, love what you're doing here in Seattle. If I just said that after every game, would that enhance or hurt my credibility as somebody who analyzes a team? What do you think?
Yeah, the answer is obvious. And the interesting thing
most
there,
important to me, that may not be what's most important to her.
Yeah,
she may have just had a moment there where she thought, God, this guy's really hurting, and I'm going to reassure him. That's fine for her. But I would. First, I just wouldn't even have that thought at the time after the game because that's not my mindset. My mindset would be like, I'm covering the game. People expect me to get some good answers here.
Yeah.
They want that from me. It doesn't make me better than her or better than anybody else, but it would make me less at what I do if I went in there and was consoling people after the game.
And Dave, we won't spend much more time on this, but
I'm pretty obviously old school.
Yeah.
You know, and but I also can't be the get off my lawn guy.
Yeah.
The nature and composition of the press box and press room have changed so much. And first along the way was really when talk radio started coming in. And they are loud.
Bombastic.
Their job makes them loud.
And sometimes more of a fan mindset there too.
And way more
100%.
of a fan, more of a fan mindset. And they are trying to be provocative to get listens. Okay, well, that came along, and you know that you could kind of hide from them, and you could get some distance, etc. Now with the podcasters and tweeters and what have you, what I have to realize, while their ranks have swelled, newspapers have been dying. And I have to think, I don't know anything about your business and how many people pay attention to it. I know that newspapers have have had huge losses in subscriptions. I suspect what you have to say touches more, you have a greater constituency than we do in the newspapers. And that is a reality. And how you deal with the people, I think there's a sense of humanity at some points. Two instances come to mind. When the Seahawks were playing at Husky Stadium, some games, and Rick Meyer got beat up after one of them. And he was a tough guy. He had some problems, obviously. His career didn't go where it was expected to. He was a very tough guy, and he got banged up, and he played. And after game, Craig Smith and the usual beat guys and columnists were talking to Rick, and he's trying to get dressed. He's given us the time. He's gracious. He took a beating. He can't pull up his pants. He's hurt. He's trying to get dressed. And we're all with our notebooks, and we're looking at him, and this guy can't pull up his pants. And we froze. What do you do? And Craig Smith, bless his heart, had understood this was a different situation. He helped the guy pull up his pants, reach down and get his pants. And it was, and I applaud him for that sort of thing. You know how you get distance and you know you're not a part of it and all that. But that was one case, and there are times, and I remember after the 2005 season, the Super Bowl, after the Hawks lost, it was tough, and I was leaving, and a couple of the linemen, Robbie Toback and maybe Chris Gray, were there, and as I walked by, I said, "Hey, nice, you guys had a great season. Really applaud that." So that was the extent of it for me.
But yeah, think of that though. Think of where that line was for you, that you would be uncomfortable helping him lift up his pants, because that could break the line of objectivity that you had in your mind, that you were raised on in the business. And I think the average person watching the game, or would have no concept of that, and how important it was for you to be in your lane. Yeah, and how much credibility you derived from that. And like, I've never seen, I think Dave, of all the people that I've known, has been one of the biggest sticklers for no appearance of anything. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't wish the best for Matt Hasselbeck or these guys, because they're good people. But that's not his primary role there. And he's not going to do anything that in any way chips away at credibility. And so that's a totally different viewpoint than somebody who is, you said, an analyst or a personality. Mina Kimes is a great analyst, but she's a personality too. There's a difference. It's like a radio host. I think the radio host is a different seat too. So all of these people have different seats at the table, you know, in there. So they don't all have to be on the same, doing the exact same thing, or the same exact code applies to every single person.
And the table keeps getting bigger.
The table keeps getting bigger, and
it's shifting at least a little bit.
I like your analysis, though, Dave, of how it came in with the radio coming in, because there was a tension between the quote unquote, you know, beat writers who wanted to kind of just do the job in a what felt like a more professional manner.
Yeah.
And you start getting people in who really aren't even in some cases asking questions. They're just holding a microphone in there, gathering content while you're doing your conversation. And what we used to have in that locker room was the ability to go up and talk to somebody, you know, and so that you got a lot out of that. You weren't necessarily even quoting them. Sometimes you're not even holding a microphone, but you those types of things are gone because content has become such a king thing to where now they don't even want to make someone available. Some teams don't make any available except at the podium, and it's going live over their website.
Yeah.
So that has fundamentally changed how things go. But I think it's also made people have to be better in some other ways too, because the idea of just going there and going through the motions as a beat guy, and I'm not saying I ever did that because I didn't, and Dave doesn't do that, but you could go through there and just get the quotes and go write your story, and no, wasn't out anywhere else. And I don't think the coverage is necessarily worse than it's ever been. I think it's maybe better. I mean, we have more good stuff out there. More good analysis, at least the things that interest me. You know, I think I'd rather be in today's environment than 1985 and trying to learn about the team.
Yeah. And we used to live by a news cycle, which there is no such thing now. We used to try to protect that. We'd get some guy off in the corner, so we had our story, knowing that it wasn't going to see the light of day for 12 more hours.
Right.
You know, and so then radio was immediate. And now the tweeting and stuff is instantaneous. So that leads us to be more analytical. We have to go to, you know, better sourcing and being more analytical rather than just breaking
and better
news.
Storytellers as well. And one quick thing, Dave, just a heads up for you, your mic on your rubbing up against your shirt, so you might have to hold it out a little bit. I just know I'm going to hear about that from listeners afterwards. So I wanted to let you know. So yeah, I mean, a couple things, and we'll shift off of this because the reality is, my belief is you need all the things you guys are talking about in terms of true reporters with integrity and ethics and intentional objectivity. And I think there's benefit from people actually exposing their true biases, and like I could be not wearing the hat. There's a lot of folks that could be wearing their suits and have tons of bias that are entering into the way they cover the teams. I mean, we all know it. There's beat reporters that have the appearance of objectivity. They're actually less objective than some of the people that demonstrate their affiliations and their biases. And so like, that's one of the things here that I always talk about with folks that listen is I'm very open about what my biases are, and I will always be open about those. There's folks that I know like that have the appearance of objectivity that are actually pretty dang biased in how they do it.
Yeah, I would say for like maybe I don't know if you could even understand this. I was as big of a Raider fan as you are a Seahawks fan. Okay. I had season tickets when I was living 2 states away and couldn't afford it. And I've flown to when they came back in 1995, I flew down there. I walked from the airport to the stadium. Okay. I mean, there's no one who's been a bigger fan of a team. All right. And within a year of covering the Seahawks for their rival, I wasn't a fan at all. Isn't that amazing? Like, I would have thought that's impossible. I mean, I die hard, and I don't have even I mean, I could take a polygraph test. I don't have 0.5% of one emotion when they play. Now, some of my favorite players from the 80s or whatever, yeah, absolutely. I would love to hang out with those guys. You know, I could say I was be a fan of Marcus Allen or something, you know, the way anybody else would be, the way Dave would be a fan of, you know, somebody that he grew up watching, Dick Butkus or whoever. but Dave could cover the Chicago Bears and not have any inkling at all that he grew up in Chicago. It doesn't even come to your mind. It's not even part of your being. And that's a hard thing that would have been a hard thing for me to understand. I think that's hard for people to understand, but that's, to me, that's just leaving one life and going into another. And you're like any kind of transition you'd have. Some people, you know, a relationship ends, they're in a different relationship. They're not thinking about the old relationship, right? You're in a new situation.
Yes.
And this one is where you're present. And so, of course, every person isn't completely objective in anything they do. I mean, we're a person, right? You have a perspective, but there's zero fandom for me that has ever come in.
When one of these guys goes down with an injury,
it
hits your heart. Somebody you've worked with, you know, and you say, okay, the career's over or whatever. I remember that Tyler Lockett broken leg, that, you know, in the end zone. And, you know, he's an admirable guy. I never thought he'd be sturdy enough to last in the NFL. And he was pound for pound as tough as anybody they've ever had. Guy goes down, you know, I could feel it in my heart. This is a terrible thing to happen. Also can happen to somebody else, like when Bryant Young went down playing the Seahawks, and you saw every one of the Seahawks offensive linemen go over to him and try to help him and tell him good luck. That was one of the best moments in sports, when you see people and their heart goes out and they respect the competitor and someone who treats the game and brings honor to the game. Boy, that's something to see. And it's
so you admire, you admire a lot of
stuff.
people that you cover and all that. You know, you really admire them.
Yeah. It's great stuff. And yesterday we had an example of this, in that reports came out as Jeff Garza from the PR team came over to the press, the gathered media, and said, here's the injury report before you start speaking to the coordinators. And he's like, Josh Jones is out and Sam Darnold is questionable. And I thought for sure Jeff was making a joke. I thought, I literally looked around at the other reporter, like the other media people, and I was like, is he pulling our leg? And he was not pulling our leg. And then, you know, we have this situation where Clint Kubiak comes to the mic, and you guys know the rules for coordinators. They can't speak on injury situations. That's the head coach's job. And Mike McDonald, because of this Saturday time frame, he's not speaking till today. So Clint Kubiak's like, I can't say anything. And yes, Drew Lock took snaps with the starters today. And like, you just saw everything starting to, like, it took seconds for this to start just leaking all over the web. And then you get people posting video of Sam Darnold after the injury news came out, when he took the field yesterday for practice with a massage gun applied to his shoulder. But the tweet said on his side, which was not accurate. He was not using the massage gun on his side. It was his shoulder.
Before he even hurt
and it was before he even got hurt. Injury. So it's like you have this like misleading information out there. And people were confused. People didn't know what was going on. So it's ironic, given this whole conversation, that I felt the need to come on yesterday to talk to folks and clear up. This is literally the order of events that happened. And oh, by the way, Sam Darnold spoke, and Sam Darnold said there is close to a 0% chance he won't play. And by the way, injury designations have changed. There's no probable designation allowed anymore. So questionable is just what they have to list him as for a variety of reasons. So like, just to give you like, codifying it back to where we are right now with this game.
The oblique thing is a very interesting and kind of vague injury too.
Yes.
And I'm presuming for a quarterback, it's a stabilizer. You know, can you twist? If you know, if you've got a bad oblique, can you roll to the left and throw across your body? The injuries kind of come in strange waves too. Well, some years it's high ankle sprain. They get 5 guys who've got high ankle sprains. One year it was oblique, and I remember Hasselbeck had an oblique problem. I don't believe he missed any games. And you know, we asked him about it, and I'll never forget the quote on this. He said, Yeah, oblique. My wife's astonished to hear that I've got an oblique muscle.
She was an athlete herself. She's like,
And-
Matt, you're really not as cut as you should be.
And it turned into a joke, and I think he played with it. Now every one of them is going to be different. So does this affect? Hey, 99% of the people out there have got something bugging them. Even with the week off, everybody's hurting some way. Whether we'll see it is, yeah.
Hey, I can just see it now.
I doubt it.
I can see Nemhauser this whole off season. Hey, if we'd only had a healthy Sam Darnold, we would have won it all. You know, can you imagine that's going to be the narrative after everyone?
No,
if they just didn't have Darnold, they would have won it all. Now they got to have him.
I got a lot of hate comments yesterday on my show because I said, you know what? Even if there's a situation where Sam Darnold can't play, I still believe the Seahawks beat the 49ers with Drew Lock. I do.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't know the difference between Sam Darnold and Drew Lock if you're saying that. And I'm like, actually, I think I know the difference quite well, having watched them in practice with the same players against the same defense in this offense. And I also know what's Drew Lock's biggest issue? Turnovers. Is he going to turn the ball over more than the guy that's turned the ball over more than any other player in the NFL this season? Maybe, but not necessarily. So yeah, I believe that to be true.
So I'll tell you two places where I went for this. So the first thing I did, because I was out and about doing something, I said, all right, I just Googled left oblique for a right-handed quarterback. The AI overview makes it sound like he's never going to play again. Okay. A left oblique injury for a right-handed quarterback significantly impacts throwing due to the muscle's role in core rotation, causing sharp side pain, discomfort with movement, potentially sidelining the player for weeks, requiring rest, rehab, focusing on stabilization and controlled rotation, sometimes injections to manage pain, with return to play often delayed to prevent re-injury and ensure full precision. So forget it, Seahawks fans. Darnold out until next year. You heard it here first. I'm kidding. It is something that can be injected.
Yes.
In a different era. I can remember, Dave, you remember this when Warren Moon got his ribs broken in Kansas City when a running back missed the block, and back in those days, the old facility was you'd walk out of the locker room and then you'd walk right past the training room down one hallway and then out to the practice field. So you always would see the players coming in the training room. I remember Warren Moon standing there and they were just jabbing needles or some stuff into him. I can't remember if it was there, if it was it could have been before a game or something, but I mean, he's playing with multiple broken ribs. Now I would imagine this thing with Darnold, they just can give him a little injection it's attached to the ribs, I think, but it's not like a broken rib. But I don't think it's great. Like I think this is, you're going to play 3 games. It's probably going to affect some throws for him. Wouldn't you think? It's probably going to affect some throws. And then you take a couple hits there. I think it's not good, not ideal, but I would be shocked if he didn't play.
It's not
He's
ideal.
Probably played with worse things at some point in the season already.
Yep.
You'd think so. And I mean, the fact that he was running out there with a massage gun on his shoulder just shows, everyone's sore this time of year. They're doing a lot, even off of a bye. And to be clear, I think that there is a difference between Sam Darnold and Drew Lock. I understand that's why he's starting. And I think there are other matchups, like if they were to play the Rams next week, where I'm not so sure that they could win that game without Sam Darnold. I guess I know we only have you guys for a couple more minutes, but I'm curious, Mike, when you look at this game, what do you see?
I see the Seahawks as clearly a better team, and I feel like the 49ers have it's unbelievable what they've been able to do, but I just feel like it's more attrition every week, and they're just running out of it. It's going to run out, and I feel like the Seahawks, with that rest imbalance, they should have won the last game 27-3. It really was not 13-3. I just don't see a great path I think the Seattle can even weather a turnover or two, so I think they're going to turn over Purdy once or twice. I think they match up so well against them. One of the things, I wrote about it last week just because I wanted it in the pick 6 before the playoffs about Nick Emenwari. I think he's such a huge factor. You can find film of him covering Nico Collins on a stutter go. You can find film of him blanketing Justin Jefferson, and running the route for him and getting his head around in time and knocking it away. They don't even throw to McCaffrey almost when he's in a coverage responsibility. And now they don't have Kittle. So you have so much flexibility. They have so many ways they can defend these guys that I think this is too much.
Dave?
I would not at all. The more I look at it, the more I'm convinced I would not be surprised if the Hawks put the wood to them. Just as Mike said, that last game was total ownership. 13-3. No, they own them. They're not going to lay down. You got Trent Williams, maybe. You got some things that might make this better. I think the defense is going to look and say, what do we have to stop? You design, okay, how are we going to get beat if we have to get beat? They're going to want to stop the Seahawks running game. I don't know that it makes a huge difference in how San Francisco prepares for this game, whether they've got Drew Lock or Sam Darnold. I think they're going to say, let the quarterback beat us. We can't give up 180 yards on the ground. So I think their approach is going to be the same. I don't think it's going to be effective. On Eamon Wari, oh my God. I think this is going to be one of those games that'll get a name. It could be whoever comes up with some big plays. And I think there will be somebody. Maybe it's the Kenneth Walker game. I think, okay, they look, who can beat us? JSN. Maybe they focus on stopping him and AJ Barner catches a couple of touchdowns, or Cooper Kupp really comes up big, and then the defense as well. And you mentioned Eamon Wari, and as I watch that guy, I kind of think he's basically Ernest Jones IV. He's the same size, and that's a compliment to Jones too. It's a guy who can lead the team in tackles and interceptions. It's pretty astonishing. And they have these parts that are almost interchangeable. And that's like having a team in the NBA where a guy can defend 1 through 5.
Yes.
You've got so much versatility. I think there are probably 20 pages in that defensive playbook that they have ready that they haven't even used yet. Yeah. Waiting for this game if they need them. I think it's going to be great fun. I think the crowd's going to be insane, and I think this has that feeling of that 13 team in a lot of ways. To me, I'm not there every day, but the attitude I see from these guys, and in reading the quotes, they are very, very, very confident they're going to go in and win, and teams like that win championships.
And Brian, I can stay a little bit longer if you wanted to. I told you 9, but I can definitely, go another 5 or 8 minutes, something like that.
Let's go another 5 minutes then. So I'll tell you, you guys have been part of the community and covering the team long enough to kind of know that these are the situations where, you can kind of either get the whole city kind of behind it and you see that, or you start to feel that's something that hasn't. I mean, I think the city is definitely swelling. I can see, because on the ticket site that I run, the traffic is through the roof, like crazy amount of Seahawks fans. The demand has never been higher for when I've been doing this. But I don't think this coaching staff, these players have really had that relationship yet. In fact, last year they lost more games at home than they won, and they lost 2 out of the 3 games they lost this year were at home, and they're trying to figure out crowd noise. So I think there's this subtle storyline, maybe it's subtle, maybe it's not, about how this particular team fuses with this particular city and what they bring in a home playoff game. And I'm curious, like, when you guys look at past Seahawks teams and the role of the crowd, is there a story that comes to mind for either of you?
Well, to me, the high water mark had to be the Carolina game, right? Before the championship
NFC
game in
championship,
2005, because that was really the first time that you're going to go to the Super Bowl, And I think that there's been we go back to the Kingdom. So, we remember, incredible noise there. That had its own sort of aura to it and was its own era. Probably it's its own category, you know. I mean, and back then, remember, they had the rules of like the quarterback could ask the referee to stop the game. It was too loud. It really had a thing. But when you go to a new stadium, you have to establish a new tradition. And to me, that was when it happened. Because there was, those first few years of Holmgren weren't that good, and they were playing at Husky Stadium for some of the time. And then they come into this new venue and they kind of sucked, for a year. They weren't that good. Remember, Holmgren's role changed and all this stuff. So I think when they finally got it going that year, to me, I guess I would go, my moment would maybe be that Giants game when they had, how many false starts do the
11.
Giants have? 11 false starts. That to me was the dawn of this stadium having its identity, to where it became known around the league the way the Kingdome was, because the Kingdome really was known as a top 2 or 3 venue for noise, along with Arrowhead, wouldn't you say, Dave?
Yeah,
maybe New Orleans.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think about the connection that much because we're watching what the guys are doing, but you can't help but think, way back when this team got started, the fans were crazy. They had 30,000 waiting lists for season tickets. There's always been good crowds. It's been a football town. I think that the ethos of the community really bonded with Pete and Marshawn and Michael Bennett. Kind of outlaws, kind of rebel in their own way, and
individual thinkers, kind of,
they cherished, they encouraged being individuals. This has a different feel, Coach McDonald is a very intellectual guy. I love the approach he's taken. I love his messaging and how it works, and so many of the things. The ball rewards effort, stuff like that. I go, it does. That's how you swarm to it. That's how you get turnovers, those sort of things. He's a little bit of a buttoned down image, and almost like an academic and stuff. He doesn't get stuff wrong. They have much fewer penalties. There are no blown coverages. They play really, really smart. And I think the personality so often is created by the defense. You got Leonard Williams now, DeMarcus Lawrence, Eamon Worry, Witherspoon. Those people get after it every play. And I think that's what really energizes a crowd, forcing turnovers. And part of it is physical dominance. I don't know.
Yeah.
If you're a fan, you got, if I can beat your ass, and
yes,
then you're going to be with me because you want to do that to your boss at work, or you and the guy who works down
you want to do
assembly
it to your
line at
pal.
Boeing. You want to.
Yeah.
So I think that's where this swell of connection is coming from.
But I don't think they've had their connection moment yet. Don't you agree, Brian? I think that's
my point. That's my point. Even this last game, the crowd was the loudest it's been in a long time when they played the Rams, but it actually worked against the defense in some ways. They haven't yet figured out, the defense doesn't always, get the crowd going the way it used to. So there's this moment still to happen. It might happen tomorrow, but it is kind of a storyline I'm interested in. And guys, I'm going to let you get out of here because I know you got stuff going on as well. Mike Sando of The Athletic, thank you for joining. Dave Boling of the Spokesman Review and a wonderful author of Stories Not to Do with Football as well. Thank you both for joining. It was great to see you as always.
Great. We'll see you.
Real pleasure. Thank you.
All right. That was Mike Sando and Dave Boling. Great stuff from those guys as always. And appreciate you folks. We're going to have a lot more coming your way. In just a few moments, I'll be joined by Jeffrey Dean Morgan for the second straight time that we face the 49ers, because it worked last time, so we're going to do it again this time. So he'll be joining here in just a minute. After Jeffrey's done, I'll be joined by Adam Ray for the first time, the comedian who is a huge Seahawks fan. So we're going to go from very objective, credible, professional journalists to unhinged fans of the Seahawks for most of the rest of this show. So if you have not already clicked like and subscribe, now is a great time to do it. I greatly appreciate all you guys that do that. And I got to tell you, yesterday's show, which I know a number of you called the Avengers, with Mina and Brian Baldinger and Brett Coleman, it was awesome. I didn't get much sleep the night before. It was not one of my best nights. And so I was struggling a little bit asking questions, and like, I'm always trying to think ahead of what I'm going to ask next. And one of the reasons that might've happened is, I didn't have my trusty sleep mask last night. It actually was being borrowed by a family member. And so make sure, if you need to get sleep and make sure you're at your best, here's something that could help. Hey folks, I'm guessing you could see me, but I cannot see you because I am wearing the best sleep mask out there on the market, the Manta sleep mask. It is 100% blackout. I cannot see a thing. And one of the cool things with this model, this is the Manta Sound Sleep Mask. It's got these really cool Bluetooth speakers that adjust right over your ears, connects to your phone. You can play music, you can play white noise, whatever you like. There could be a 49ers fan right next to you. Doesn't matter. And let's face it, sometimes during the football season, you just need to recover. You need to take a nap. You need to block out the world. The Manta Sleep Mask is the best thing to do it. And if you use my code HAWKS, you will get 10% off your purchase over at Manta Sleep. Don't make the same mistake I did. Don't look at other sleep masks. Manta Sleep is the best. Buy it. You won't regret it. It's awesome, awesome stuff. I use it every night and often during, if I'm going to take a nap, that's the sleep mask I pick. Highly, highly recommend it. It does really help. If you've never tried it before, you think they look silly, sleep masks look silly. They do kind of look silly, but try it. I guarantee you will have your best night's sleep. And if you want to get into this game, there is still a chance to get a great deal on tickets. Check this out. Folks, there has never been a better time to go watch the Seahawks play, which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's video, SeatGeek, a huge shout out. With over 35 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. The NFL is in full swing, NHL is back, and so is the NBA. One of the reasons I love SeatGeek, they've got your back. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Those are the best deals. Red, not as much. Plus, every ticket is backed by their buyer guarantee. And it's not just about sports. Go see Les Mis this summer. Get tickets to AC/DC or whoever you love. And of course, I have a code for you guys. You can use code HawkBlogger10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code HawkBlogger10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Amazing deal. Take advantage. Great stuff. I've used that deal. I know I've heard from a lot of you. You've taken advantage using that deal. Take every discount you can to take advantage of getting into this game. I know a lot of you are working as hard as you can to do that. You still have a little bit of time, I think, if you want to go over to the Simply Seattle Instagram account and follow the instructions to get your name entered to get 2 free tickets for this game tomorrow night. So follow the instructions there. Go find the Simply Seattle Instagram account. Use code HawkBlogger15 to get 15% off at simplyseattle.com. All right, we got a few minutes here before Mr. JDM. This one is for him, so I'll wait for him until he gets it. We've got a new member, Adrian AF. Appreciate you joining. Welcome to the crew. It's Zeke says, is there any chance that Jalen Milroe gets activated so that he can play without Drew Lock having to get hurt? I don't think, yes, I do think there's a chance that he could be active as opposed to an emergency third quarterback. The reason that they would do that would be, concern about whether or not, if Sam Darnold can't play for some reason, and then, maybe things go really bad with Drew Lock, maybe they'd want to be able to have Jalen Milroe as an option. they also have basically everyone that they need healthy. So maybe they feel like they can afford to use one of their active spots for Jalen Milroe. But the reality is the way an emergency third quarterback works is he can be inactive, but be the emergency third quarterback. And it just means that Sam Darnold and Drew Lock would both have to get hurt before he could play. So I'm not sure unless they really want to potentially have him as part of the game plan, which I would not recommend. I don't think that it's likely that he is going to be, active for this game. It's possible, but I wouldn't say it as likely. I've also seen a quick thing. No one's asked this question, at least here, but I've seen it all over the place. There's this silly thing out there that some account pushed that Pete Carroll is going to raise the 12 flag tomorrow. I do not know who's raising the 12th flag. I do know it's not going to be Pete Carroll. Like there's 0.0% chance that the team would decide in Mike McDonald's first playoff game to have Pete Carroll raise the 12th flag. No, like that doesn't make sense. 2, it doesn't make sense. Pete Carroll wouldn't do it. Pete Carroll doesn't want to be any sort of shadow or shine during this moment. He didn't even really want to be in the building when Mike was there, not because he doesn't like Mike, but because he wanted to make sure he wasn't like a figure that was still affecting Mike's ability to step forward as the new coach. So I don't think Pete would accept the offer, even if it was offered. And the last is they've been doing top 50 players for all the 12 flag raising all year. And I don't know why they would change in this particular instance, because I think there's one name that has not been used yet there's more than one name, but there's one name that sticks out to me that has never raised the 12 flag that I think would make sense. And that's Marshawn Lynch. If I had to put money on it, that's my guess. That's my guess of who's going to raise the 12 flag. Maybe it'll be Marshawn and Mike Robb together. I could see that. That'd be a lot of fun, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see tomorrow. I will tell you that all the signs that I am getting are that it's going to be a really, really great environment tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a really, really memorable environment. And I don't think there's any question about how much energy the fans are going to bring to this game. And then we'll just have to see, how the team reacts. So I have good feelings. Good feelings. All right. I'm just checking to see if I got any other messages here before we welcome in our next guest. Folks, I don't know how you're feeling. I'm so excited. I'm really excited to get to this point. Feels like it's been ages since the Seahawks fans had a chance to watch a football game, which is great. And sorry, I'm seeing stuff in chat. Let's make sure chat's staying friendly and cordial. If someone's not being friendly, we're going to ask you to leave. But we're going to do a pretty fun show tomorrow morning too. Usually it's Jeff Simmons and I for Seahawks Saturday, but Evan and Nathan are too excited. They want to be part of that show as well. So we're going to do an 8 a.m. Seahawks Saturday, somewhat of a Real Hawk Talk OG crew version of that. We've also got a new segment we are going to be airing tomorrow. So you're going to want to tune in for the show tomorrow morning. But I know you're here now partially because you want to hear from people that know what's up with the Seahawks when they're facing the 49ers and know exactly who we're dealing with when we face the 49ers. Jeffrey Dean Morgan back with us again 2 times before we play. JDM, how are you on this fine Friday?
Man, I'm good. I feel like we just had this conversation about the Niners like a week ago, and because we did.
we did. How I know how I felt watching that game. How did you feel watching that game?
I was stoked. The defense that we displayed that game was I never felt like we were in danger because our defense was so good. That being said, I'm stressed out about this weekend.
Okay. Talk to us. What are you stressed out about?
I don't know. I don't like that we're having to play them again already. Shanahan obviously knows what he's doing, but so does McDonald. I just think that we punish them so thoroughly on the defensive end that what are we going to scheme up now? What do we have new to throw at them? And I have no doubt that we will, but that doesn't mean that I don't stress out about it.
Well, you wouldn't be a fan if you weren't getting stressed out about any game.
And
I get stressed out about them playing Carolina.
Was I stressed out about the Niners?
No, I get stressed out about them playing Carolina or Cleveland
every Sunday. Yeah, it doesn't. I suppose it doesn't matter. And then hearing about Sam's oblique injury, whatever that means, when he said there's almost a 0% chance I won't play. Why do you say that? What is that?
Just he was trying to be reassuring.
Yeah, just say I'm playing.
Yes. I think there are maybe league rules that prevent him from saying it's 100%. But it is it's interesting. I'm kind of curious. Fans have different parts of football that they like. And you talked about the defense and how well it played.
Yeah.
If you were to design a football team that was exactly your favorite parts of football, good run offense, good pass offense, fast, strong, tough, good defense, good pass rush. What are the elements that you love most about football?
Well, I think, and I think this is a good jumping off place. I think this is why I have kind of fallen in love with this team so much. I love defense. I love the defensive side of the ball. And the one common thread between all the great Seahawk teams has been our defense. And I think this defense has become its own Legion of Boom without, their own MOB or dark side or whatever we're calling them. I have shirts that say both because I'm even confused what their name is now.
Yeah, there's a lot of branding going on, like too much branding.
But the flying around and our front four guys, I think, are just tremendous. And now I think our back end is caught up to the front end because I thought that was maybe a little bit weaker at the beginning of the year. And I think that they've all kind of caught up. And I think that last game against the Niners really showed what this defense could be. And that's why I was so excited about having, the bye week win in the division. That, it was awesome. Everybody can heal up and rest. And then as far as the offensive end, again, I'll go back to the last game, the Niner game. I thought our running game was incredible. It's what we've kind of been on the edge of our seats waiting for all year. But I mean, at a certain point of that game, like into the third quarter, we were getting like 6 yards a carry. We were averaging like 6 yards a carry or something. And I mean, if we do that, if we control the time of possession like we did, if we can do that again, and it's in Seattle, and I love that, we're in great shape. I still want to see Sam go over the top, and I want to see, Shaheed used more because I think we rely so much on JSN. I mean, I feel like Sam's looking for JSN every time he goes back.
It does feel that way. It does feel that way.
Everybody else is like the third or fourth option, and Jackson is the first two at least.
Yeah, his progression is JSN again.
Yeah,
and then starts looking. That's
exactly
fair.
Right.
That's fair. It's funny. We're talking to Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and all the nerds, the analytics stuff. Everyone talks about it's quarterback driven league. It's passing game is what wins. And I understand the numbers behind that.
I get it, Joe.
As a fan, I can't shake the belief that if you're kicking someone's ass on defense, like they can't run on you, and you're able to rush the passer, and you're able to push them around on offense and run the ball. I will take that combination every single time, because what so many people don't get is that means that the level of quarterback play you need to win, you don't need a Patrick Mahomes to win if you've got that
you
kind
need
of
a game manager. And when we won our Super Bowl in 2013, that's what Russell Wilson was. We relied on our run game and our defense, and we beat the Broncos 49-12 or whatever the hell it was. I mean, and it was awesome. And then we add our special teams to that, and what we're able to do on I think our return game. Just talked about Shaheed, but the one thing that I think he has brought to the table is this return game that's just insanely good. I don't want to see any missed field goals. I don't want to drive the length. I don't want to drive the length of the field and be fourth and goal and Sam be looking for JSN when he's got Charbonnet wide open on the flat.
Yes. I'd rather them just run the ball there. My God.
We've been here before. We know.
Yes,
rules.
I know. Why won't the Seahawks run the ball from the 1 yard line? Why?
Run the ball. Run the ball, especially on that first drive. The way that we were running the ball.
Well, and for all the facts around this game, which I mean, honestly, if you take away being a fan of either team, you put your hand over the logos, you just look at the way these teams play, the talent level, the numbers. Seahawks are a meaningfully better team. It's just not a question.
Agreed.
But they've scored 13 points both times they've played this team. And so, like, as much as we focus on the Brock Purdy versus and Kyle Shanahan versus Mike McDonald and the dark side, the other side of this is like the Seahawks offense should be scoring. I think they should be scoring close to 30 points against this team.
I agree. I mean, what are we, the second highest or the first highest scoring?
Second highest scoring offense.
Yeah, at like 27, and it was at 30, and then now it's like 27 or something a game. Look, I agree. We should be scoring points. And we should have in the last game. We should have at least had 27 points.
Right.
We should have had 20 points at halftime, 23 at halftime or something. But the time of possession was such, and then they didn't have any like third down conversions in the first half. I mean, it was crazy. Our defense was so crazy that, again, I never felt threatened. It was a game that I wasn't completely stressed out in because it just looked like we were in such control on the other side of the ball. I do, however, think in this game that our offense is going to have to chip in a lot more than 13 points.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And you talked about being a little bit uncomfortable having to play this team twice. And part of that is because as well or better than anyone else that the fan base for that other team is awful. Yes, they're awful.
Oh, God,
they're awful.
They're awful.
And so you get this absolute like whipped cream and cherry on top when you beat them. It just feels so good. And then if you lose, it's just doubly bad.
It's a barrage of hell coming your way.
Yes.
Yeah, especially guys like you and me that are themselves out there. Yeah. Yeah. It would be the worst thing in the world.
So did you have any fun with 49ers fans after this last game?
I mean, of course, but I also kind of figured that we'd be playing them again. As soon as the bracket went up, like the second it came up, I was able to look at that. I'm sure you were. And it's like, we're going to play the Niners and the Rams both again.
Yeah. It looks very likely that could happen.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing maybe that was in going against the Rams is that they have to go play in -6 weather. And I don't know that Stafford loves that. Look, we're going to beat the Niners and we're going to get the NFC Championship, but I think in all likelihood it's going to be the Rams. And shit, it's just like
Yes. I mean, One of the things that I think everybody reacted to when we had you on last time was there, folks that are in your line of work have a rap of like, okay, they're disconnected, they've lost touch with reality, they're not grounded, and everyone's like, oh my God, he is me. He is me as like, I can't believe how much he is me. And I wonder, like, I'm not saying you've lost any of that grounding, but in that industry, has being like a Seahawks fan for your life, like, is it a through line that you feel the same way about that as you did before all this other stuff in your career happened to you?
Oh yeah, it's never changed. Seahawk fan for life, and it doesn't matter where I have been, like shooting a show. Or I remember I did a show for a couple of years, and we shot in Miami, and I took the whole crew to the Seahawks Miami game, and that was 17 years ago now. But Seahawks has always been. Every Sunday. There's always bets with somebody on the crew. And I've seen a DP have to dress like a chicken and work all day in a chicken suit because he was a Buffalo Bills fan and the Hawks were playing him. And I will throw down on everything. And like I was working, I talked to you yesterday, I texted, and I was in New York City finishing the last week of the Walking Dead City show I do. And we shoot most of it in Boston. So it's a bunch of New England fans. And a lot of that crew came to New York City to shoot. And for the last 3 days, it's been nothing but trash talk in just the anticipation of a possible rematch with New England. And we'll run it from the lawn and we'll kill them. But I don't want to, I don't want to jinx myself and get ahead of what's coming up, because I know the next 2 weekends. I know this weekend is going to be, tomorrow's going to be a fucking lot.
It's going to be a lot.
I'm not going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be pacing all over my house.
Yeah. 100%. So I don't know much about acting, but I know that some people, like, I think there's like method acting, or people like use some kind of motivation in their head. I'm curious, have you ever like used Seahawks experiences to get you into a certain mood for any of your scenes?
Yeah, I mean, sure. The character I play in Walking Dead is pretty angry, and he's busts some heads with baseball bats. And
yes.
I can harken right back to being in a hotel in Toronto and watching that Super Bowl when we didn't run the ball, and I can get the proper amount of anger, and I will bust anybody's head and not even have a problem with it.
Well, that seems like a healthy way to work through that pain
whatsoever. Yeah, I could go into that morning thinking, oh man, got to be that guy, and I'm not feeling it, and then I'll just remember that run and be like, give me my bat, I'm ready to go.
That, you know what, I think that's going to give a lot of Seahawks fans life.
Yeah. So the whole introduction of Negan was all based on not giving the ball to Marshawn.
Yeah, I'm a little curious if Marshawn's going to raise the 12 flag tomorrow. I think he hasn't done it before. That's where I'm putting my money on.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
What's your game day? You talked about not sleeping tonight. You're gonna be pacing all over. What's your game day routine? Like, what's tomorrow gonna look like?
The game's on at 8 o'clock my time, which is a nightmare scenario for me. That's way too long to wait. The only thing maybe I have going in my favor is that I didn't sleep last night. I worked late and then left the city really early to get up here, so I would have a computer to be able to do this with you today.
Very grateful for that.
Of course. No. Well, look, we did it and we won, and we're going to win this week. So now we're going to have to do this the rest of the year.
We are
after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm very superstitious, man.
I fully expect to see you down in Santa Clara for the big game.
No, there's no doubt about it. I will be there with bells on. I just got my Nick Imanwari short.
I was wondering. I saw 3.
Yeah, no, it's not
Russell
Wilson.
It's not. Oh, look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell Nick about that. I probably won't see him today, but I will.
He's kind of my new man crush. I'm not gonna lie.
Why is that? What do you love about Nick Eamon-Mori?
I mean, I could watch that guy play. I mean, I do. I'll rewind or rewatch a game and just. I think I've said this before to you. I can watch him and Witherspoon on an ISO every play and see what they're doing. But again, that game against the 49ers, he reminded me of Cam Chancellor. And Cam Chancellor was maybe my favorite Seahawk defensive player ever in the history of ever. And I'll never forget being at the Super Bowl that we won and Cam laying a hit down. And that was the game. The game was over and we were 2 minutes into the game.
Yes.
And I get that same kind of vibe from Nick. And the way he flies to the ball. When he hit Kittle, Kittle got that little flat screen, and Kittle always breaks. He's always good for breaking a tackle or two. Not with Nick, man. Immediately down. And he's been this guy all year. We lost him game one for 4 or 5 games, but since then, I don't think there's any doubt that he's the defensive rookie of the year. But he plays that brand of football that we love. Fast ball hawk. He's like a multi-tool. There's really not a position he can't play on the field. So I'm very excited to see him. I'm very excited that Kittle's not playing, and I like Kittle. He's the only Niner that I kind of don't hate. There's something about him that you just can't hate. Although he's killed us before. But I'm glad he's out. I'm sorry that he's hurt, but I'm glad he's not playing in the game this week.
Well, here's the picture of that play from Nick dumping George Kittle.
Ass up, George. Ass up.
I mean, I guess for me, I'm lucky in that for game day, I'm going to be going to the game. So I'm going to go downtown and I'll watch pregame, watch some bar and all that stuff. But typically for me, if I was
you watch from the press box now, every game.
So road games, I do. Home games, I'm a season ticket holder and I still sit in the stands and do my job.
Oh, good.
But then this is the first time I'll be going to a home game and then attending the post-game press conference. And I will probably get some dirty glances for having Seahawks gear on in the media room. But you know what?
Bring it.
Too bad. Too bad. It's going to happen.
It's our stadium. And you know what? You can do whatever you want. I'm sure, by the way, all the guys that are going to give you the dirty looks already know who you are anyway.
Oh, they do.
Yeah,
they do. They don't always like that I'm there, but generally,
I heard about that little battle you were having with the Jackass podcaster.
Lombardi.
Yeah. And I wasn't familiar with him, so I watched a couple of his podcasts, and I'm like, oh, he's a dick.
God,
yeah, he's a total fucking asshole. Yeah. No, and by the way, San Francisco fans think he's a total fucking asshole. So,
God, that is the best thing I've ever heard. I am gonna clip that, and I cannot wait.
Oh no, I had to go because I heard you talking about it one day, and I was like, "Who is that?" Because the last thing I'd ever do is watch a 49er podcast, and then you do a little research, and you find out that other Niner fans and podcasters also think he's a big tool. And I'm like, "Why is he messing with Brian?" Because you're. I mean, other than Niners, you're really a pretty stand-up and nice guy.
Yeah, well, that's nice of you to say. I try to be.
Yeah, I mean, they bring that side of me. I think I heard you talking to maybe Hasselbeck, who I love when you have as a guest, by the way. Talking about Niner fans, and Hasselbeck was just shaking his head laughing. But you were very honest, and you were like, "They're assholes." I mean, I don't know what else to say.
No, it's true, and it's so funny because when Matt asked that on Tuesday, I was like, oh yeah, I'm sure he has just kind of heard something, and then I was like, oh, he probably caught my clips of my post-game show where I was dropping F-bombs left and right about the 49ers. And,
I don't think it's a secret, Brian. We
yeah, probably not. Like, you know, I honestly, like, as many people watch the show, which I got to tell you something crazy. Like, I looked at over the last 28 days just for YouTube. There's been like 9 million views in this. A year ago, it was 280,000.
Wow.
So like the amount of people that are interested in what we're talking about with this team now is crazy. But I never think that anyone's watching. I honestly don't, because
that's also you too. I think that's a testament to you as well. It's not just the fact that, because, you know, we weren't horrible last year. Last year was a big transition year with Mike coming in for his first year and all that, and we still won 10 games. This year has been a little bit crazier than anybody would have expected with the 14 wins and winning the NFC. But I think you got to give yourself a little bit of credit. And you're very good at your job. And like I said, you're very fair, other than the Niner fans, which, by the way, deserve all the shit they get, because they're chirpy as hell. Why are they even watching your podcast and commenting?
Because why do you think they are? Like, let's get into the psychology chair for a second. Why are 49ers fans so eager to get into the comment section of other?
It's not others. It's the Seahawks. It's really us.
Why do you think that is? What have we done to make them feel so insecure?
I don't know, but I do love it. I love that they're so insecure and they're such fucking babies. They cry about everything, and they think the Big Burn is calling us sea chickens. I'm like, okay, little old miner dude, fuck off.
Their mascot, Sourdough Sam. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
My sea chicken plucking out his eyeballs any day of the week.
You know what? I don't know if you saw that.
They're petty. They're all basement.
Petty.
They're living in their grandma's basements. I swear to God, you know, the keyboard warriors, and they're out there. Those are the Niner fans, and they're probably, you know, all little skinny weenies that have never seen the light of day. They don't touch grass at all. This is what I picture as a Niner fan in my head. Like that Lombardi guy. That guy's never been outside in his life.
He's been outside in like Napa Valley. You know, he'll
sipping a Chardonnay, maybe.
Yes, pinky up, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I don't know if you saw, man, but I was in the press box in Levi Stadium for that game, and I was taking pictures. Last year, I was there for when the Seahawks and Geno went in there and beat them. Yeah. And I was shocked at how empty the stadium was. And this year I came back.
You showed me pictures last week.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. You showed me pictures of how empty it was.
That is crazy to me that in a Week 18 game this year, they had empty seats like all throughout the 300 level. Like, how can you possibly look at yourself with a straight face and call yourself the faithful when you don't even sell out that game?
It's a great question. You should pose that to the guys chirping in your fucking comments. Your comments are on right now.
Yeah, no, they're all Seahawks fans. I've screened out the 49ers.
Oh, you screened them out?
Yes.
Because they'd be in there. They'd be all like yipping up a storm.
They would be.
Fucking chihuahuas just beep, 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 beep.
So, okay. So I got to get your, you know, you're nervous, but I got to get your read on this game. How's this game going to play out tomorrow? How do you want it to play out tomorrow? How do you think it's going to play out tomorrow?
I have one concern, and that is if we come out super conservative and rely only on the defense. I mean, conservative offensively. I think the defense is going to do what it does. I think we're going to break Purdy. You know, we almost broke him in half last game. I think we'll finish that this game. I think that our defense is going to be on fire. I worry that, although with the success we had with the run, you know, they're going to be keying on the run. They're going to dare Sam to throw is my thought, and they're going to bracket the hell out of JSN. But I don't want Kubiak. I don't want to see them like restrain themselves. I want to score points. I want to pound these fuckers into the ground and win for real. Defense will do its job. limit them to nothing, and then I want to score 60. You know, we could do 30 a half, but I want to be aggressive. I feel like everybody's so stressed out about the Sam Darnold of it all. I don't feel like I'm stressed out about it. I think that ever since that Rams game, we've been real careful with him, real precious with him. And I just don't think that we have to do that. Sam is an aggressive. I think his problem comes sometimes when he gets maybe too aggressive and sees a spot that's not really a spot to throw the ball. But he still has to be Sam, and you got to let him toss the ball like he did the first half of the season. Yeah. And we've got some great receivers. You know, if Coop in the slot and you got Rashid and JSN on the outside, how are they going to key on the run? And you know they're going to key on the run because we ran all over them last week. So I don't know how they stop us if we let Sam throw the ball.
We got a super chat here from Vince that's for you. Says this one's for JDM. Who's got it better than the 12s? Nobody. Only Harbaugh. So I hopefully that's meaningful for you, given Mr. Harbaugh's old saying. So love that from you. Loved your work on the sound. I also when I listened to the sound this time, I had a new appreciation for all the things you were probably saying that we're not getting recorded.
Oh man, yeah, they're between the lines, I say all sorts of stuff. It cracks me up. The guys over there, the editors I know, are just laughing because I think what they do is they kind of cut together the piece and then write dialogue. And I think I told you, and there's different ways to different dialogue they'll give me. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. But I don't see the actual. They don't send me what I'm doing the voiceover to, but as I'm doing it, I know exactly, I can remember the play and I can see it. And so I'm giving my own commentary, and I keep waiting for them to use my commentary at some point because I just go off on a tangent. Like, that was a great fucking play. Yeah.
Man, I love that. I love that for you. I certainly love it for all of us that get.
I love doing it. It's really fun. It's always when I'm working, and I'm trying to cram it in. But it's so much fun. I worked a 16-hour day, and I get home, and I've got an email from the Seahawks that it's due by 7 a.m. So I'm like, well, I'm going to do it right now, and I get so friggin' excited every time I do it. But I got to tell you, when we lose a game, the 3 games that we've lost this year, they weren't fun to do.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I'm like, and I know my voice is different, and it's just I sound like fucking Eeyore of Winnie the Pooh. I'm just
but you're representing, like, it's a genuine representation of what's going on through, I think, a lot of fans' minds that are watching those same games. And I don't know about you, but it used to be the case for me when the Seahawks would lose, I was miserable for like a week. Like, no one wanted to be around
TV.
me.
You can't put on Sports Center or Good Morning Football. I can't watch anything for a week.
Right.
No, it's horrible. It's a nightmare. I don't want to talk to anybody because somebody will bring up the Seahawks invariably. I don't want to look at my phone because I'll have 100 text messages, and I can't.
How do you get yourself into the mentality you need to then go do your job, which requires you to be in a very specific frame of mind?
Yeah. I can kind of separate. I've had to learn to separate because there's been some lean year. Oh, the Seahawks are on TV right now. There's been some Seahawks 49ers highlights on Good Morning Football.
You can watch. There's no rules here.
They're doing their picks or something. I don't want to even fucking look.
Okay.
I know that 3 or 4 of them will take Seattle.
I think everyone, like, that's honestly, and I want to hear you answer the question, but honestly, that's the thing that probably has most people nervous about this game is everyone's going to be picking Seattle. The odds, the spread is very much in favor of Seattle.
Yeah, it's seven. Is it still 7?
7. It's 7-point spread, and so no Seahawks fan likes that situation because it's like, no, we like being the underdog
situation. We do like an underdog situation, and maybe that's what Sam's doing the oblique thing for. to give us fans, because we like being the underdogs.
Yeah.
And I think, by the way, so do the players. Although the players can put a chip, it's like, it's like Michael Jordan could always have a chip on his shoulder. Didn't matter what the situation. He would find something to hate and want to destroy in any particular game. And I feel like, like Ernest Jones, I feel like is that guy. I think that before he runs out of the tunnel, he's talking to the players, and there's something he's saying. There's some sort of, bulletin board material that he's got where some dude picks the Niners that, fucking name Lombardi, but he doesn't give him that. It just needs something, a little chunk to say, because the great teams love that. They like the chip, they like the underdog status, and we've been an underdog all year. I really feel like that, and I still feel like that. I never know how an off week is going to go. Getting that bye always stresses me out a little bit too, because I'm like, I like staying sharp. I feel like our team does well staying sharp, but I saw some stat that I don't think Mike's lost a game after
Yep. I think I shared that before. That he won last year. They went down to the 49ers and won that. They broke the streak against 49ers last week after the bye. Yeah. And then this year they went in and absolutely made the Commanders look like a JV high school team after the bye. So it has not been an issue.
And I like the old stat that every time we've had the number 1 seed, we're going to the Super Bowl. I
never lost a divisional game at home.
Yep. I'll take all that. Look, I'm planning on, 2 games at home and then going down to Hell Stadium and winning the Super Bowl. That's the focus at this point.
Well, you understand that's now a home game for us because we own that stadium. We've won there twice in a row. Like it's just as good at playing at Lumen Field.
Well, when we played in MetLife in 2013, it was all Seattle fans. I mean, it was crazy. It was a sea of blue. I mean, the Broncos had like an end zone, and the rest was all Seahawk fans. It was awesome.
It was a great experience. I hope we get to have another one of those. And Jeffrey, man, I super appreciate you making time to come out.
Anytime. As long as we're winning, I'll be seeing you, buddy.
I love it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, great stuff, Seahawks fan, and now proud owner of a Nick Eamon-Worry jersey.
Yes, damn straight. I'll be wearing this game day.
Love it. All right, man. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Have a great day, and I will talk to you very soon. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. That was Jeffrey Dean Morgan, the best in the biz, man. If you're not fired up after listening to JDM, then I don't know what's wrong with you. You listen to the wrong show, because look, the Seahawks down in Levi Stadium, they played with the level of energy, speed, enthusiasm, especially on defense, but honestly on offense as well, that I'm accustomed to seeing the home crowd give them. Like when they're playing, when the best Seahawks teams have been amplified by the home crowd, that's what it looks like. It looks like they have one faster step, even in just the get off on a pass rush or closing speed on a check down or whatever it is. And it just feels like this overwhelming odd to have to face as a visiting team. And the fact that they did that on the road is great. And I want to see that tomorrow night against this 49er team. And like, if the Seahawks do that, it does feel like you heard from Dave Boling and Mike Sando earlier talking about the 2005, technically 2006, but 2005 NFC Championship against the Carolina Panthers. And that's what it felt like. It was like a tidal wave. Like it was impenetrable. And I'm looking forward to that energy tomorrow night. I certainly assume, I don't think that really affects Purdy necessarily, but you feel it like when the stadium gets going, you literally feel it in your chest cavity. Like you feel it echoing. And I will be getting notifications on my watch that I'm in an unsafe sound environment and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like that's what we're in store for tomorrow night. And I think the storyline is going to be do we get to have everything we want? Do we get to have that like really resounding win? And I think the question is less about whether or not the Seahawks win. It's more about whether they win by a lot. And I want that for us. I want this team, I want this town, this fan base to feel that inevitability of the Seahawks. And I've been feeling that for a while about this team. I've obviously had that conversation with all of you, and how many times we talked about like, well, what's it going to take for this town to totally buy in to this team? And I think that win over the 49ers and getting the #1 seed was a massive step. I certainly feel a very big difference, much different than after the Seahawks came back and beat the Rams, even though that was a huge game as well. There's something going on now where the town, like you've got the town's attention. And if you pay it off with a big win here, a dominating win here tomorrow night, it increases the odds of the Seahawks winning the next week in ways that's hard to quantify. And you might say that sounds crazy. It might be, but that's how I see it. Like, I think that the fusion, if you can get this defense as good as it is, to benefit and be amplified by this home crowd, anything's possible. And winning for an opposing team becomes impossible. So maybe I like, for all the analytics and number stuff that I do and trying to be objective, maybe that's too vibey, but I've witnessed it and I've experienced it. And it's this intangible aspect of that experience in the stadium that I'm chasing. Like I'm looking forward to. So that was so awesome. Him going in on David Lombardi, that was the best. That was the best. I mean, I cannot wait to clip that and have that out on the socials for all to see. I know certain people that will enjoy that even more than me. And then we're just a few minutes away. The show's not over. We are going to bring in Adam Ray, who's joining the show while he's on the road traveling in Maine. I'm going to check to make sure he hasn't sent me any new messages about any issues, but he should be with us in just about, 7 minutes here at the top of the hour. So looking forward to that conversation. First time getting to meet Adam. I have some questions for him, so that'll be a lot of fun. And then there's a bunch of super chats. So let me get to some of these super chats while we have a chance. We got Surf Murph, who's either become a YouTube member or upgraded. It doesn't show me exactly, but welcome to the crew. Or if you've upgraded to club level and now you get access to Discord, the Discord server, welcome to that. If you join on YouTube and you're wondering how to connect to the Discord server, go to the channel, the YouTube channel, click on the posts tab where it shows all the posts, and look for my post on how to connect your YouTube account to the Discord account, and that'll get you access and you'll be all good from there. We've got It's Nick 12 says, I was asking for it, but after week 18, I commented on Grant's podcast after their loss. Go 12s. And all they can say back was spend time with your family, when in fact me and my family were enjoying it. I get it. I mean, I don't tend to go, like, maybe a younger version of me would have definitely gone and enjoyed trolling some opposing fan in the 49ers, but I don't spend time on that now. I've got other stuff to do. Daniel Schultz says, I think we draw first blood. Our O-line will take a few plays to feel 49ers defense. Second quarter will heat up. We cannot let up. San Francisco loves to play possum. No stopping or slow down. Put them away. Go Hawks. Love that there. Dracovid says, Jalen from Ottawa, Ontario. I have been a fan of the Hawks for 14 years now. If the Seahawks lose tomorrow, I won't care. I love this team. I'm so proud. I'm a Hawks fan. Fuck the 49ers. Love that from you. Kane Musk, who's been a member for a year and a half. I love how much Brian is loving this day. Well, you know what? It's Blue Friday before #1 seed divisional home playoff game. If you can't love today, then I don't know what kind of days you can love. This is fun stuff. We'll still get to go down and talk to Mike McDonald in a few hours. I'm looking forward to that. And then and it's going to be like, waiting for this game is going to be tough. Detail oriented says, leave no doubt. I love that from you, Bobby. Good to hear from you, man. Let me check to see if we got any Venmo super chats, and appreciate those as always. If you want to do a Venmo super chat, you go to venmo.com/Brian-Nemhauser. The link's in my link tree on any of my socials. So if you don't remember the whole spelling of my name, just go to the Twitter or Instagram, click the link tree, and you'll see a link to my Venmo. All right, so we've got a number. Wow, we might not have time to do all these before our next guest joins, but let's see what we can do here. Andrew Davis says, any chance of you getting Richard Sherman on the podcast this week? Thanks for all you do. Well, since you asked, I will let you know. Sherman and I were trying to make it happen. For reasons I won't get into, it was not able to happen, but no fault of either of ours. And Sherman's someone I consider like a friend, not a close friend. Like he wouldn't say like we're close buddies, but we've known each other for a long time. And he was going to come on, and that was going to be a lot of fun, but didn't happen. It's okay. Maybe another time, but yes, we'll keep trying with some of those guys, because it'd be great to catch up with Sherm. Mark Mayday says, thanks for the great show and the HB Tick site. Well, I appreciate that from you, Mark. Sebastian Fairchild says, hey guys, need some help, feeling very nervous and almost have this sense of dread regarding the outcome of the game Saturday. Thinking worst case regarding Darnold, Niners have house money, huge underdog, pressure on Hawks. It feels anything to ease the mind. I mean, the 49ers had nothing to, they did have something to lose in week 18, but not more than they have anything to lose now. Like they were playing with house money in week 18. No one expected them to be number one seed, and they could have won that game and been home for this game and home last week. By last week, like all that was in front of them. Didn't matter. I think all of that fan stuff, which I ascribe to, I think the mental stuff does play some role, but it's mostly fan stuff, to be honest. I think that comes into play much more when the teams are more evenly matched. Seahawks and 49ers are not evenly matched. Now, it does not mean that there's no way the Seahawks can lose, but as I've said a couple times already, there's literally no outcome of this game that would cause me to believe that the 49ers are a better team than the Seahawks. There isn't. That's not the question about this game. The question is whether the better team will win and by how much. That's the question. And when are the situations that a better team does not win? Turnovers are the primary thing. Do the Seahawks have a turnover problem? Yes. They have one of the worst turnover problems in the NFL. Now, since week 12, since post that first Rams game, it has not been as bad of a problem. And in fact, one of the other things that I've been trying to share is Brock Purdy has turned the ball over through it, at least via interceptions, at twice the rate of Sam Darnold during that period of time. So, we've got this storyline of Sam Darnold turns the ball over all the time, and yet somehow Brock Purdy gets off of like, no, he's just the best quarterback, so we're not going to talk about that. Brock Purdy just threw 2 picks against the Eagles and has thrown 8 picks against Mike McDonald's defenses. So I don't know, man. I see that we got our friend, our soon-to-be friend, Adam Ray, who's on the road, on his way to another show. Let's bring him on stage here, see how you're doing, man. Adam, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can, dude. I can. Thank
Great.
you for making the time while you are going on this world tour.
Dude, first-time caller, long-time listener. We are coming to you live from Portland, Maine, home of Robert Kraft Rub and Tugs, home of Clam Chowder, home of Mark Wahlberg, home of most of the Wahlbergs, to be honest with you. Well, just this part of the country. But yeah, we're going to Boston now to have 2 wicked shows, and then we're going to Rhode Island and then New Haven, Connecticut. But I got to be honest, all I'm thinking about is how I'm going to be on stage during the game tomorrow. But
oh my God.
But I will say this: during the Niners Hawks game in San Francisco a few weeks ago, I went on stage when it was 10-3, and when I got off, I basically, my host Nate, I go, we're gonna have a sign thing because I'm not going to leave the stage to know, but there was, there's a lot of Seattle people in AZ, so there were a lot of Hawks fans in the crowd. And one guy even hit me up and was like, "Do you want me to scream the score out during the show?" I go, "No." And so, so my boy Nate goes, I go, "Thumbs up if things are good and I don't have to stress. Thumbs down if it's like it's just a blowout and I can just, get my head around that. And then this is like wrap it up, like things are getting crazy. You need to get back there." I didn't see any signs. I get off stage and everyone's like, they won 13-3. And then when I see the highlights, I'm like, get out of here. So that all to say, I think there's some good juju, and I can say that I was circumcised. There's some good juju for me being on stage during the show.
All right. Well, we'll take any good luck we can from any source. For folks that don't know why you have this affinity for Seattle sports, don't know your background as much. Let folks know your Seattle sports history.
Bro, I'm and you're doing a great job, by the way, for the fans, the city. It's nice to have look, there's a lot of people out there grinding and winding and trying to, content pushing it, but you've got a nice balance of what the F you're talking about, and your voice isn't it's not super jarring like Mike Lefko. It's and shout out to Mike Lefko. Someday he'll be a real boy, Pinocchio style, but right now he's got the physique of a 67-year-old Filipino woman. But
I will let him know next time I see him.
Yeah, no, Mike's a great guy. If he heard me say that, he'd go, "Well, that's just your opinion, and everyone's got an opinion, and I'm sure Shannon Dreyer would disagree." So, but no, I grew up in Lake Forest Park, Shoreline, Washington, and just took the bus from the Albertsons I would work at later in high school down to the Kingdome for Mariners games, Hawks games. Had a 6-game package because I was a poor kid raised by a single mom every year for the Soups. Became a Storm fan when the Sonics left. Kraken, all of it. But I mean, Hawks, Mariners, Sonics, that's what I bleed. And been fortunate as, my profile has risen in the comedy game to be around some of these people and get to roast the Seahawks. And, I met John Schneider through Bert Kreischer when I was opening for him at Climate Pledge. And then John and I have become real good buds. And then he said I should roast the team, and I got to know Mike, and now Mike and I are good buds. And I've known Sam since he got drafted because I used to have a podcast where I interviewed him. It was a sports comedy show back in the day. And so that's the Hawks part of it. And then the M's, just diehard. I met Rick Riz at a bar called Vino Bella in Issaquah, probably 2013. I was in a movie called The Heat with Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy, and it had just come out, and I was doing a little, warm-up show for the weekend of shows in Tacoma. And I look over afterwards, I'm wearing my backwards M's hat, as I'm always doing, repping Seattle. Shout out to Simply Seattle to give me all the goods. And I get off stage and I see Riz there, and I'm like, all right, if he was there, I think I have grounds to go talk to him because he was at the show. If not, I'm just accosting a sweet man at a bar trying to get hammered on Pinot. But I went up to him and he was like, "Great show, buddy. Great show. The Heat's one of my favorite movies. And what did Sandra Bullock smell like?" And just all the pervy questions you could ask for. And then Riz and I played pool and drank until like 2 a.m. And he's the mayor of Issaquah. So, and then he's done Dr. Phil live and some podcasts and then because of that, I got to work out with the M's and roast them last year at spring training, and then was around for a lot of the playoff runs and ended up in the locker room after we clinched the division, partying with them, which was one of the coolest moments of my life. Don't tell my wife, but it was neck and neck with the wedding. And then now I got to present Cal with his Sports Illustrated Breakout Star of the Year award in Vegas last week, and now Cal and I are doing it's going on sale actually. Actually, I was supposed to post about it right now, but it's going on sale right now. I should have done that before I got on with you. But Cal and I guess this is breaking news. Cal and I are doing a one-on-one live show, first time ever at Fifth Avenue Theater on January 28th. Basically, I'm calling it Behind the Plate. Catchy, huh? And it's just
Very
basically
good.
me and Cal just shooting the. Can we curse on this, or is this YouTube friendly?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Yes. Jeffrey Dean Morgan was
Dude,
just on saying fuck the 49ers multiple times. So yeah.
Fuck the 49ers. All right, cool. Well, this fucking shit goes on sale soon, baby. No, you're like, dude, does this guy know how to curse? I remember I used to get chastised by the kids in my neighborhood when I was in 6th grade because I just learned how to curse and like, but I
Oh,
was overusing it. So I was like, they're like, all right, you guys want to play some horse? And I was like, yeah, let's fucking play some fucking horse. And I remember this kid, Luke Winslow, who was quarterback of our high school, goes, dude, you curse too much, not cool. And I was like, what the fuck you talking about, man? And I'm like, just potty mouth. And then he was like, yeah, dude, you just like, you're not using it in the right places. I think you said, let's go get some fucking sandwiches earlier. He's like, no one curses about sandwiches. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, but yeah,
well,
the show is January 28th, Fifth Avenue Theater. Tickets are on sale now. I just got to post about it. But me, Cal Raleigh, a lot of special guests. We're going to break down his historic season. There's going to be games, prizes. The fish market guy's going to be there. It's going to be wild. If you want to come through, let me know.
that sounds amazing. That sounds
I mean, I
amazing.
think it'll be awesome. It's 2,000 seats. I think it'll sell out. But like Cal's never done anything like this. He's always just done the Shannon Drayer show and other little mini interviews. Like this is going to be. We're locking the phones up. We're going to be drinking beers on stage. So if you really want to come see a loosey goosey athlete that you're a fan of, and have some laughs, come on down January 28th.
That sounds amazing. I'll need some tips from you. Not that I'll need a venue that large, but if the Seahawks win this game, I want to do a live show next week, and I'm gonna have to pull it all together really quickly. So I've got to figure out some venues that might make sense. So
I know one right off the bat you could probably do it at that. I know the guys. There's a place called Moss Bay Hall in Queen Anne. You know those guys?
Yeah, I don't know those guys, but I know I know Moss Bay Hall.
I'll make a quick intro. They've been wanting me to do a stand-up show there, and but it's apparently they got a great big ass space and a lot of room for something like that. So I think
that'd be great.
Off the top of my head, seems
well.
Like,
so
if not that, Rick's on Lake City Way, I think has a buffet. And if you're not familiar with Rick's, your listeners are not old enough. Rick's is a strip club that's been around, I want to say, since the late '80s. I first went when I was a freshman in high school, and that place is as advertised. I mean, you know, from the font to the to the bouncer that greets you, everything is just a little bit half off.
Well, if it was at Rick's, I guarantee you the issue there is people would actually go to the show.
People actually go to the show. Touche.
So you know, I'm just curious, Van. Obviously, as someone who is a huge Seattle sports fan, as you are, this experience for you of getting to be close to these guys and close to the team, what's that been like?
It's really, man, for lack of a better word, it's just awesome. Like the fact that I, like, you know, after the Thursday night game of FaceTime and Sammy D, and like you know, what's cool is that like a lot of these guys are comedy fans too. So it's like I'm looking at them with these like big, you know, doughy eyes as far as like, I can't believe, you know, it's all, if you're a sports fan, you're in the comedy world, like being friends with athletes, it's just like the coolest. It's like, obviously Rockstar's cool. That's, you know, its own level of awesomeness, but like, especially for my team, it's really bonkers, man. And it's not lost on me, but I've also gotten to a place, I think, from just doing enough stuff and being around that, like, I think I'm pretty good at being able to like just be a person around people, you know, and not, I'm definitely still a fan, but like at the after party to my, my show at the Moore Theater on December 19th, Cal and Mike McDonald came, and then Sam Darnold had a dinner with his buddies. It was the day after the Thursday night win, but he just came over to the after party. So we got Mike, Sam, and Cal farting around. And at one point I go, Cal, have you met Sam? He's like, no. I go, what? So I introed the two like studs of our city right now. And I just remember looking around at all my buddies being like, what the fuck? And that probably was a good photo op, but I was like, man, I just got to let these guys be people, you know? And, but it was very cool to like be the middleman there. But yeah, it's cool because also, you know, I did a little spot on McAfee last week, and he asked me to send a video about my, you know, how the Hawks are playing and just my thoughts. And then as I was coming up with the video, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to get Mike to pop in to the end here after I, you know, and I was like, you got 5 minutes on Zoom next week? And he's like, yeah. And we did it. And we talked for a while and about, you know, life and just, you know, prepping for the week. And, you know, this was last week, so he was watching the games, but yeah, it's cool to, you know, you got to find that balance too as a person to not over abuse, you know, the contacts. I mean, there's sometimes like I texted Sam a few days ago and I was like, I sent him the clip of me on Rich Eisen. I just done some stupid rap about beating the Niners, and I texted to him, and he was like, incredible. And then he goes, I said, how's practice going? You guys in the thick of it? He goes, no, dude, we decided to mix it up this week. No practice, just gonna let it fly. And I go, hey man, fuck you. And then I go, oh, just trying to make small talk. And then, you know, just, so it's, you know, you try to just, you know, have a nice give and take of when you bug them. And this feels like I talked to Schneider last night just about the game and some other stuff. And he was just, I told some nice stories about him and his wife on Eisen. And so he was just, you know, saying, thanks for all the love. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I got to give you your flowers as much as possible. You amongst many others, but you know, to do, and we talked about this on Eisen, but like, it's pretty wild. And I'm sure you can attest, like, to have the turnover we had in a short amount of time. And I remember even seeing Mike last year at the end of the season, and I was like, he was real bummed we didn't make the playoffs. And I was like, bro, you got 10 wins, and you, moreover, came in and kept the train moving. Like, there's a lot of expectations, a lot of winning in this culture, and like Pete leaving was a big deal. And then I jokingly was like, and we're still not over it. Some of us wish he was still here, you know, joking. And he was, you know, he laughed. But I was like, I go, so for you to step in and like keep it, you know, keep people invested and keep people excited is, I go, that should not be lost on you. And he was like, okay, cool. You know, and then, you know, you just see him this year, really just grab the whistle by the balls. And like, it's his team. It's his, like it. And he told me early on too, he was like, you should come back and roast this squad because there's absolutely no egos. He's like, it's the most unified group I've probably ever coached. He's like, so this is the group to come throw some shade at because everyone has a good sense of humor, bust each other's balls, and that play out, right? Like, it's no mistake. People talk about the locker room chemistry, how it actually, you know, connects to the field play. But like, which is why, leading up to my prediction here, I've been trying to stay pretty even keeled about, you know, being 2 games away from the Bull and both at home. But I got to be honest with you, we're so healthy. We're so lethal at home. I think the crowd, people are just not giving enough credit to. They're buying fucking earthquake machines. Bill Gates and the rest of his fucking geek squad over at Apple are getting the earthquake machines to test like, what is that? Like, bananas, dude. And I honestly think Brock Purdy and his little, you know, Book of Mormon face and his, you know, kid getting my van body, like, I don't know, he's got a lot coming as far as noise and defense that's gonna scare him into some false starts. But
I hear you, man. And I gotta say, I watched you on Eisen yesterday.
Stay away.
Sorry, go on.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry, we got a little bit of bad connection there for a second.
Right.
So, you still with us, Adam? Looks like maybe we might have lost you. Have we caught you back up?
Are we good? I
think we're good. I was gonna say,
Okay.
one of my favorite bits is just you and Mike, because I've gotten to know Mike a little bit through the last couple of years, and super good dude, like down to earth. He is what he seems like, but he's also, you know, he's intense. He takes his job really seriously.
Yep.
He's not one to quickly smile all the time. Every time I see him with you, he's got the like goofiest schoolboy grin, and it's so funny because he's so amused by you, and like, he is the best straight man for you. Like, the two of you together is a great pairing.
I love that you say that. I almost feel like his like douchey younger brother that's like, what's up, Mike? Fucking nut tap, you know? And like, he's just, yeah, I love that you said that, because when I kind of told him like what to do for the video, he was like all about it. And I go, I think this will play really well, I think. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm learning. Like, this is all new to me. And I think, you know, I think he likes that I'm like his connection to the comedy world. And he is a really silly guy, and he has a really great sense of humor. And so I feel a responsibility to, you know, humanize him to the world and the fans. But the fact that he's just down to clown and says yes to that, or the pitch, you know, for the M's when I'm going to come up short and throw my shoulder out, and then I called to the pen and he came out. We did that last year, and he was immediately, I was like, yeah, cool. And I'm like, it'll be your first pitch, which is kind of cool, but you're cool to do it here. And he was like, yeah. And it was before the season. So, and people went nuts for him. It was awesome.
Well, and I mean, John has got a great sense of humor. Like, at least I like his sense of humor.
Yeah.
It's all Tommy Boy, and like I've watched Chris Farley movies with him. I've watched Will Ferrell movies with him. Like that guy, he loves those movies.
Bro, I was giving him a hard time about pitting out on camera, and he's like, I couldn't find my deodorant. I don't know how that works. You know, it's like, dude, so funny.
I think I would encourage him maybe to keep that Derek Hall jersey on. I think the jerseys don't show it.
No, dude, let your freak flag fly, dude. Be you. People are just jealous, man. That's called passion. That's coming through the pits.
Passion through the pits. I got to say before we let you go, I loved you talking about who might be the next opponent for the Seahawks, Matt Stafford and the Rams. And you had me cackling yesterday talking about why you don't like Matt Stafford.
Yeah, dude. I mean, capital D bag, dude. The guy just looks like he hit on your girl at his wedding. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just, his face is just so smug. Looks like he combs his hair with toothpaste and wipes his butt after he pees. Like, he's just, everything about him feels like phony and fake. And like, yeah, I'm sure he's a great dude. Like, but I don't know, man. He's got it too good. And, but I do want the Rams in the next round because I want to, I think and the way Eisen shaped it, Niners, Rams, and then Pats in the bowl. I mean, dude, that's maybe, that erases a lot of pain as a Seattle sports fan and just kind of cleans the slate, you know? And also, I mean, look, Carolina winning would have been awesome because also it would have been like, cool, they get to cry on the long flight home and watch, you know, the movie Wonder with Owen Wilson, which is a tearjerker, by the way. I watched it on the flight to Hawaii after about 8 Mai Tais, and there's a scene where Owen Wilson's like, it's not that bad, you're fine. And the kid, I don't know if you've seen it, the kid has a fucked up nose and face. He had like some weird cleft lip, like Sarah McLachlan dog, like lupus, Mr. Holland's opus, something going on his face. And Owen Wilson's like, you're fine. It's not that bad. And the kid's crying because he's like, dude, if you're telling me it's not that bad, I know I've got issues because.
Oh man, I think we're losing you, Adam.
Oh shit, we're losing me? Okay, fuck.
I think we are, man.
How are we now? Good?
I think we're back.
All right.
I think we're back. We lost you right at the punchline.
Right,
so I don't recommend doing Zoom-based comedy like for your show. Like that feels like a worse nightmare to have your punchline drop.
I did it during COVID and it was not great.
Yeah, but, I would think that'd be really hard. Like,
okay.
How much do you feel like you've got to like be able to connect with the crowd when you're doing these things versus virtually?
Totally. I in my shows I like to do a decent amount of crowd work and just break the fourth wall, connect with the room. You know, I think everybody appreciates it, and it's just boring to me too. I feel like I don't want to feel like I'm talking at people. I want to feel like I'm talking with them, right? They're like all hanging out. And so if you break the fourth wall, you're achieving that, I think. And same with the Zoom show. I do a lot of crowd work. And it was actually great because I'd start off by roasting people's like backdrops, like where they were. Like there was some guy for a corporate show. He was sitting out in his like big ass yard. And I was like, clearly this is the boss. Look at this flex. This guy's got 600 acres behind him. I go, dude, show us where the bodies are. Show us where, like I made a few domestic abuse jokes. I mean, it was like, I was not asked back, but I really like went through every box and like lit people up. And that was kind of fun.
Well,
also,
Adam,
the best of it.
Man, it has been so great to have you on, and I really appreciate you reaching out. And here's to hoping that you get a big old thumbs up from your stage guy tomorrow night when you're on stage.
I love where your head's at. Yeah, dude, you're crushing it. I've been a fan for a hot minute, and I actually was just going to message you because of your interview the other day, and I look at my DMs and I'm like, oh, he hit me up in May. What a dick. And so, but you know what? I'm glad that I stayed connected because here we are. But you're doing a great job, dude.
I appreciate it, man. That means a lot. And let's hope we all have a really fun weekend, and maybe we'll do this again really soon.
I'll come on whenever you want, man. So we'll run it back next week after the big W. And Brock Purdy, say your prayers because dude, D-Law, Big Cat, they're going to come for you. You're going to be, here's my impression of Brock Purdy in the second quarter on the sidelines. Mike, what's happening out there? And Shanahan's going to go, hey, yeah. So go Hawks.
I think that's dead on. That
Yeah,
looks like you're coming to us from the future. I love it. All right, Adam Ray, man, great luck on your shows as well. All right,
Thanks,
take
brother.
care, Adam Ray. Great stuff from him. And look, man, what a pleasure! What a pleasure to have people that love this team the way Adam loves it, the way JDM loves it, that do the work that they do and make it fun to be a Seahawks fan along the way. And to be able to like have those conversations here, enjoy it with all of you and see all your reactions as well. I mean, that's what sports are supposed to be, man. Like whatever walk of life you come from, whatever your background is, wherever, whatever gender, whatever religion, whatever, whatever that your background is, being able to have something like this that brings us all together to have the same feeling, no matter where you are in the country, where you are in the world, at the moment tomorrow night, we're all gonna be going through it together. And I love that. I absolutely love that about sports, and really appreciate Adam. Like as you can see, driving between shows, got a lot of stuff going on, and for him to take the time to come here, very kind. And we'll get him on when he's also hopefully stationary, and maybe the signal is a little stronger than it was for some of that, but we definitely got a lot of great stuff. I'll have to feed him some Lombardi stuff because I need him to go after David Lombardi the way that Jeffrey Dean Morgan did. That was hilarious. So folks, I see that there's some super chats. We'll get to those. We had some more over here on Venmo. We'll do those as well. But I hope you feel what I feel, which is this is special. And this is kind of what I've been preaching as much as I can along the way, is these seasons don't happen very often. They just don't. And if you remember the 2013 season, it wasn't just special because the team was good. You had the Real Rob report, and you had access, and you had to the team in different ways. And you had Marshawn and the Skittles, and like all these side things, and how the whole team just kind of came together. It was like life's greatest story, like that's what you love to tune in for. And reality shows could never replicate what you get from these sports moments. And this, it's all the individual players, all the individual coaches, their stories, Mike McDonald's story, Sam Darnold's story, Kenneth Walker's, JSN's, DeMarcus Lawrence, like all of them have individual stories, and then collectively them coming together, and with John Schneider and with Jody Allen and Burt Cold. And then all of you have individual connections and stories to this, and to feel that swell at this moment is the best. I remember growing up, and in Portland, it was the Blazers for me. So sorry for you Sonics fans, but it was a one sport town. And when the Blazers were good in the 90s, which they were, the whole town turned Blazers in the playoffs, especially. It just took over the entire city. That's all anyone talked about. All the buildings downtown were decked out in colors, and you could just feel something that was, you almost wish, I'm not going to turn this political, you wish government did that. Like you wish like that pride of being an American or being a Washingtonian or whatever, like you feel that in other ways, but sports to me does it better than almost anything else. And so I love that. And I love that Adam came on to celebrate with all of us. And it was very nice of him to say all those nice things as well. I did not pay him to do that. I'll pay him for other things, but not for that. All right, let's get to some of these super chats. All right. Andrew Davis says, if we do make it to the Super Bowl, who would you most want to face and least like to face from a matchup perspective? Well, I mean, what is it? The Broncos, Bills, Patriots, and Texans, right? Broncos, Bills, Patriots, Texans. I personally probably have the most disdain for Broncos fans and the team as well. And I would like to, there's a whole section of Broncos fans that try to claim that they won the Russell Wilson trade because it ended up with them getting to Bo Nix. And I'm like, whoa, that is some wild, wild logic they've got some of the same delusion that 49ers fans have. And so I would love to beat them down again. That would be fun. Patriots would be up there as well, just because that would kind of finalize this thing. But, based on history there, Texans fans have gotten on the wrong side of me. Like I did not realize they were as delusional and arrogant as they are. So like that, I think that would be the most boring Super Bowl option, but it would be fun to beat them again. I think my favorite would be against the Bills, because I really would like to see Sam Darnold against his buddy Josh Allen. It would not feel like as catastrophic to lose to the Bills, because I also have a soft spot for that city and that franchise. And I also, I like Josh Allen, but generally speaking, I think the Sam Darnold, Josh Allen connection would be pretty fun. So that's kind of where I would go. All right. And then Sebastian Fairchild, if you want to know the Warner news prior to inactives coming out, watch the betting lines. It will drop to around -3 to 3.5 because he makes that kind of difference. Well, obviously he's not going to play, so we never had to find that out. Sebastian's back with another super chat here. He says, the one thing keeping me positive and feeling good is something you said a couple weeks ago versus the Niners. In a do or die situation, I trust this team and this defense. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that helps. Joey Hamilton says, put them out of their misery, end it, and let's move on to real football. I'm crying from laughter thinking of how triggered Niners fans after hearing that one. Yeah, I probably said that. I don't remember it, but it did happen. Matt Koch said, what would the narrative surrounding Purdy be if he takes 9 sacks Saturday? Well, I don't think he's going to take 9 sacks. And the interesting thing there, I don't know if it has to be 9 sacks. If Purdy gets beat by Sam Darnold and this team, and especially if he has this game similar to the last time that he faced the Seahawks, you're paying that guy over $50 million a year. That's going to cause some consternation in that fan base for sure. Especially when they start thinking, well, maybe Trent Williams won't come back next year. Maybe George Kittle won't be ready for the season to start. They've still got to figure out Brandon Ayuk. Who knows what Ricky Pearsall, like all that stuff. They got a lot of stuff to figure out. Caleb Diaz says, appreciate all the guests you bring every day, Brian. Always wake up looking forward to your podcast. Go Hawks, and let's win it all. Appreciate that from you, Caleb. Let's come back over here to YouTube. Some of the super chats here. Okay, we've done that one. I don't think we've done this one. No, we did. We did that one. All right. We've got Flash Gordon, who's become a YouTube member. Welcome to the party. We got Amy Holmes, our moderator, and been here for 12 months as a member. So many good guests this week. JDM made my day. Yeah, he was awesome. Adrian says, Hawks fan from Brazil here. It's mostly lonely. LOL, but these lives bring us 12s closer. It is true. Joshua Catrone has become a member. Welcome, Joshua. Sim the Bear says, had a baby, missed all of the games. This is the first game I'm going to. Love the show. I'm pretty sure my baby knows your and Evan's voice. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Revenger, Seahawks fan from Indonesia. Cheers, everyone. This is what I'm talking about all over the world. Hey, Darnold has become a YouTube member. Appreciate you for joining. And Bobby has gifted 10 Hawk Blogger memberships. Appreciate you, Bobby. If you want to take advantage of these free memberships, all you got to do is make sure you've turned gifting on your YouTube account. You can Google it if you don't know how to do that. And then like, subscribe, watch, engage with the show. The more that you do that, the more likely YouTube will decide to gift you one of these free memberships. So appreciate that from you, Bobby. One last one. It is the gamer says, need to break that sound meter tomorrow, 12. That would be great. That would be great. Let me just check to see if there's any news, because it seems like every time I get off the show, there's some kind of news that I just missed. So scrolling through just to see. Yep. Seen this. Not new, not interested. Okay. Let me go back over here. Yeah. All right. So Brady Henderson published something. I think this was actually last night about the Sam Darnold injury stuff. I don't think there's anything new here going on. So yeah, in case you're here very late and you want to know, Sam Darnold is expected to play. Important to understand that questionable is the only designation allowed. There's no probable available anymore. So he would probably be probable if that was still a designation. He's going to play. If Drew Lock has to play, I still think the Seahawks win this game. But it might be a little bit tighter, might be a little bit tougher. So that's all I've got. One last message. I might have just caught it, but there's been a few people as we're getting more and more people watching that argue with the mods in chat. And I think Amy does a really nice job, as the other mods do as well, of trying to keep things focused on football, kind to each other, kind to people on the show. Let's not have, comments at the expense of guests or me or others in general. Let's keep it positive. And then I have a rule about no all caps. Like I don't want people shouting in chat. Amy steps in front of some of those bullets, and I appreciate her doing that. If you don't like the rule, you don't have to comment. You don't have to be part of chat. I just think it's a much better experience for everybody when some people are not trying to make their messages stand out above anyone else's or shout or anything like that. Let's just have fun. Let's just have fun. So please keep it kind. And, the mods do this for nothing. In fact, they are members, so they're giving money and time. And I really, really appreciate their time. So make sure you are keeping it friendly with all of them. All right, everybody, that will do it for this episode of Blue Friday edition of Hawk Blogger Mornings. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. Until tomorrow morning when we have a Seahawks Saturday, I'm Brian Emhauser. This has been an episode of Hawk Blogger Mornings. Take care.